Hey, this is Chris at Art Secret Studio, and we're at Plaza Art Store. And I'm here doing a couple demos on some of my favorite things that I like to do. One of the things I like to do is I like to take powdered charcoal, and I'll take a nylon piece of material with 3 cotton balls and a rubber band or tie it, and I dip it into the powdered charcoal, and I just start to smear in my darker values. So I don't need a lot of this. I do a little off the hand though. Something that I do like is I love these Twizzlers, or is it Twizzler? Twisterz, twisters. And I like the smaller sizes to hold my powdered charcoal, because sometimes the containers they come in open up and then my whole box or whatever I'm carrying it has powdered charcoal in it. So these lock very nicely. This is the 3.9 ounce size, and I think it's a little big. I get the size down from it. So I'm just gonna start, and I'm just gonna start to, right now when I make my first mark with the charcoal, it's gonna be too dark. So I'm picking a spot that's not gonna, that I know I want to be dark. And I'm just gonna, wherever I pressed hardest, the darkest. And then as I get lighter, as I start to run out of charcoal, and I'm just gonna kind of sweeping in some of the charcoal, and I'm setting the mood for the painting. Some of us would call this the halftone or no tan, the overall percentages of light and dark in the painting. And you can so quickly start to capture the feeling or the message of the painting or charcoal drawing. And then that's about all I'm going to do with the powdered charcoal. And gosh, in seconds, I've already established a mood. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a kneaded eraser. And I like to keep I'm a big fan of the Prismacolor kneaded erasers, but they tend to dry up. So by keeping them in one of these pill boxes from Amazon, keeps them moist. And I'm going to now just go in there with the eraser and erase out some of the hairs that I might have already lost in the picture. And I'll actually take the eraser and make a point in some places, so it's actually making individual hairs. And sometimes I'll make the flat part of the eraser and just pull and drag and make bigger marks. So I want to vary the way I make my marks. I don't want them all to be the same. And if I go in there with charcoal too fast and I start to grind the charcoal into the paper, then I can't erase this stuff out. So I'm going to start layering, and I'll start layering the eraser and the charcoal, and I'll draw over it, and I'll erase over that, and I'll draw over that. And I'm just going to just lightly hint some of this stuff. A lot of times I don't even draw it in. I think I drew it in because of the demonstration purposes. Another thing I like to do, wrong ones. When I'm doing the white areas, I tend to use an F pencil, and this is the Strathmore 500 series charcoal paper, and it has a ridge line in it we call an Ingres, I-N-G-R-E-S. It's the paper that Sargent used. So I'm going to touch very lightly, and I'm going to make these hatch lines where they're all going one direction, very lightly. And a little at a time, I'll just go a little darker to the right. So I'll do a lot of the subtle things with a graphite pencil. So here I'm using the graphite pencil to go darker farther away. If I use the charcoal, it gets to be dirty. So it's just something I find to have more success with because I have more control with. Now, I don't like to take my finger and smear on it. There's oils in your hands, and if you're going to give something to someone that's going to last forever, I don't want these brown spots. So I love these Creative Mark medium-sized tortillions. They're blending stumps, and I just hold it parallel to the page, and I just smear. And I'm getting rid of the lines. So I've changed, so my stroke went this way, so now I'm smearing in this direction. Try not to hold the stump this way, you're going to destroy this stump. And I make these crosshatch lines very much like Velázquez and Sargent did and Rembrandt in their paintings. So now I can go in there with some charcoal, and there's different things I can use with the charcoal. But I'm a huge willow charcoal fan. So I'm just going to go in here and just find a few of the places. And if I feel like that's just a little aggressive, I could take the stump and smear it back out, but then I run the risk of losing that of everything I just did. So another way of doing this and dealing with this is when I go in there with the charcoal, I could take the stump and I soften with the stump, and that tends to leave it a little darker. And I'm going to gradually go darker and darker as I work her up.